Hola, hola a todos. Espero que tengan una buenas tardes. Mi nombre es hello, everybody. I'm sorry. I forgot to switch my I forgot to switch the flip. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope you are doing great. And I'm so used to speaking Spanish today that I just started in Spanish. But welcome, everybody. I hope you guys are doing great. And we're gonna have a webinar today talking about long-term storage fees, and I think it's a very important topic because we're getting ready to get our actually Amazon is getting ready to do the not only start the charges for this August 15, but also there's been a lot of changes, and we want to make sure you guys are aware of all the changes, and you know what those are, so you can prepare your store and your inventory based on that information. So, welcome, Raquel. I know Raquel understood everything I said at the beginning. Welcome, Rodney, Jasmine, Amal, Thomas, Clara, Lynette, and Jim, Greg. Welcome, everybody, and I hope you guys are doing great today. So we're gonna start. Let me start by sharing my screen, and we're gonna go over the presentation, and then at the end, I'm gonna open it up for Q and A's, and then we can talk a little bit more about this topic and other topics you guys might wanna talk about. So let me share my screen real quick, and let me just double check that my video is good. Okay, I think it is. And yeah, let's start this real quick. So long-term storage fees, the latest changes that Amazon has done for 2018. First, let me tell you, there's 3 different changes that Amazon did this year. Some of them already happened, and two of them are going to happen. One in the next few days, and the other one by the end of this month. So, the first one is the monthly inventory storage fees. Starting from April 1st, 2018, Amazon changed to do monthly inventory storage fees. Actually, Amazon increased the inventory storage fees 5 cents per cubic foot. That's for standard size and also oversized items. And this change, everybody started seeing that reflected in the month of May for all the storage fees that occur on April. So, what does that mean? It means that before April 1st, from January to September 2018, the standard price was 64 cents per cubic foot and 43 cents for oversize. And now it's going to change. Well, it changed in April from 64 cents to 69 cents, and also from 43 to 48 cents. So a lot of that was the previous charge, 64 cents. Now it's going to be 69 cents. And then October and December, it always jumps up. So if you guys have heard people talking about how Q4 is very expensive, well, this is the charge that you're going to be getting for that month, for the month of October, November, and December. Is $2.35 per cubic foot and $1.15 per cubic foot. Those are for sales, for things that you sell. Those months they're going to charge for October through December. Instead of $2.35, they jump to $2.40 and $1.15 for oversized to $1.20. The next change that they did was the long-term storage fees, starting from September 15, which is going to be in a month, about a month from now. All the long-term service or long-term fees will be adjusted and then assessed, and they will change from a semi-annual basis to a monthly basis. So basically, instead of Amazon charging that 2 times a year, now they're going to be charging those fees every month. So that's a big change. But I'm going to show you the difference on the charges. So it is a big change, but the fees are going to be a lot lower. So before that change, before September 15, Amazon is being charging every February 15 and every August 15, and usually they charge 11.25 per cubic foot, and then that's for 6 months, between 6 months and a year. Things that you have over a year, they charge you 22.50 per cubic foot. Now in September, everything's gonna start. They're gonna start charging monthly, but the cubic foot for a monthly basis is gonna go down to 345, and that's within for items within 6 months to a year, and also for items over a year, they're gonna charge 690 per cubic foot a month. So instead of having to pay, 2 times a year, now it's gonna be every month. And for some people, it's gonna affect them, a lot because they have a lot of inventory. So I want to make sure that you guys understand all of these numbers. And now, starting from next month, it's gonna be a monthly recurring fee for items that you've been storing for more than 6 months on Amazon. And then the third change that happened, that is been happening, and it's going to start happening on August 15, which is in a few days. They will introduce a minimum charge of 50 cents per unit a month for all the items that have been in the warehouse or in the fulfillment centers for over 12 months. So if you have items that are over 12 months, before you will have to wait until either the February charge or the August charge. Now they're gonna charge you every month 15 cents, or if you are over that month, they're gonna charge you whatever the greater of the applicable total long-term storage fee, or the minimum long-term storage fee will be charged. So basically, they're gonna charge you either or the 50 cents or the actual fee. So items that you have over 12 months, over 365 days, starting from the 15, every month they're gonna charge you 50 cents. I hope you guys are getting all of that, and if you guys have questions, we'll go over at the end. But I also have a lot of answers from Amazon for some of the questions that people has been asking about all of this. So we'll go over that. So here's some examples for you guys to kind of get an idea of what they're doing. So let's say starting from August 15, which is the cleanup, the inventory cleanup date for Amazon. Let's say any toy that you had that was 11 inches by 8 by 2, for 1 unit, if you've had that in storage for over 6 months, between 6 and 12 months, the long-term storage fee is going to be $115. There's no minimum long-term storage fee, and then so you're gonna end up paying $115 for that item, for 1 item. If you have that same item over 12 months, you're gonna end up paying $229 plus 50 cents. But they say that they're gonna charge you only one of them. Whatever is the higher one, so it's gonna be $229. If you had 2 units, then you're gonna pay $229, and if you had 2 units over let's say over 12 months, it's gonna be an extra $1 for the minimum fee, but still they're gonna charge you the higher amount, so $458. So if you had 2 units, 10 units over 12 months, the long-term storage fee is gonna be $22.95. and the minimum it's $5, so they're still gonna charge you 22. So let's say you have 100 units, and in that case, the long term, the minimum long term is higher than this. Then they're gonna charge you for the higher amount. So they're gonna charge you only one, but whoever, whatever is higher than the other one. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So here's another example for a book that is 8 inches by 6 by half inch. Same thing. If it's one unit between 6 months and 12 months, it's 16 cents. If it's over 12 months, now we can see the difference right here, because it's 31 cents for the long-term fee, but the minimum is 50 cents, so they will charge you the 50 cents right here in this case. So here's where we can see the difference, how it's going to be either or, but it's going to be the higher amount. If you have 2 units, it's gonna be 31 cents after the year. So they'll charge you 31 cents. I'm sorry, between 6 and 12 months. And if it's 2 units after the year, it's 63 cents for the 2 units on the long-term fee, but it's $1 on the minimum, so they'll charge you the $1. And so in the case of this example, every time you have an item over a year, in this case they're charging you the minimum amount, because it's greater than the storage fee. So that's that in this case we can see the difference very, very clear right here. Here's another example, another item that is 11 by 8 by 2. Again, for one unit between 6 and 12 months is 35 cents. And if you have one unit over 12 months, it's gonna jump to 70 cents. And the minimum is 50, so they'll charge you the higher one. So they'll charge you 70 here. And again, for 2 units, it's the same. They'll charge you the higher number. And for 10 units, it's gonna be the same. They'll charge you the higher number instead of the minimum. But if you have something that it's less than 50 cents, they'll charge you the higher, the minimum amount of 50 cents. And on this one is kind of the same for another book. For 1 unit, 5 cents, and after 12 months, if you only have the long-term fee, will be 10 cents, but now they're gonna have a minimum fee, so they'll charge you 50 cents. So in very small items, or maybe not heavy items, they're gonna charge you a minimum fee of 50 cents per unit. So if you have 10 units, they'll charge you $5 instead of 96 cents. So you have to be aware of these, depending on the kind of products you have. But you wanna know that the big change is that they will have a minimum long-term storage fee of 50 cents per unit, and that might be very a very big fee depending on the product that you have. So when does these changes take effect? The monthly inventory storage fee took effect on April 1st, and then you started seeing this on May of this year. So that's for the monthly inventory storage fee. The new long-term fees that are going to be a 5 cent increase is going to be September 15, and the assessment days will be charged from it will change from a semi-annual basis to a monthly basis. And then the minimum long-term storage fee it's gonna take effect on August 15th, so in 2 days. And then this applicable fee will be charged per unit per month on all the items that are fulfilled on the fulfillment centers that are over 365 days, so over 12 months and more. And then the storage limits policy change took effect on July 1st. That was the policy changes that they did. And then Here's one question that a lot of people is being asking. Which of the products will be charged long-term fee, storage fee, and how much will I be charged? So you can use, in order to kind of understand all of these and see all of that for your specific account, you can change the inventory age and inventory health reports. You have to log into your account. That it's going to show you for each aging on your inventory which ones are due for any long-term storage fee. So you can log into your account, and on your account you're going to be able to see how much each item or each aging is been on or how many items have been for how long had they been on the inventory, and they'll show you from 0 to 90 days, from 91 to 181 days, from 181 to 270, and all the way up to 1 year, and then 1 year and over. So you'll be able to see that report if you log into your seller account, and they'll show you from 0 to 90 you have 10 units, from 91 to 180 you have 50 units. So they'll break it down for you so you can see which ones will apply for that fee, for that storage fee. This information also can help you estimate the number of items that you have been that you will have in Amazon fulfillment centers for more than 6 months, and also you'll be able to see all of this in advance before the cleanup date, so you can request. You can do a removal order, so they don't charge you for that. So for today, you still have you still are able to do a removal request if you have anything within that time frame. So you can do a removal request. The recommended removal report can also help you identify subject to long-term storage fees. So you can go on that report, and it will show you also a different way, a different report that will show you how many items you have. So this report, it automatically calculates based on the aging, the number of items that you need to remove, assuming that you don't have any more sales between now and the 15th. So that way you can avoid all the long-term storage fees. And then it also will pre-populate the removal order request for those items if you like. How do you find that information? If you go to your reports right here, and then you go down to recommended removal, they will tell you which ones you need to remove and which ones are still within the time frame, so you don't have to worry about all of that. And then you can also find the inventory page if you go to the inventory planning under the inventory tab in your seller account. And also there's another option that is called inventory health and recommended removal fulfillment reports, and that's going to be on the fulfillment in the reports tab. So that's the one I just showed you. So if I go back here, this is going to be this right here, report, and then you have recommended removal, you have removal order details and removal shipment details right here. Okay, Ivan is asking, can you create a removal order and then send the goods back? Yes, you can, but Amazon is going to tell you how long do you have to wait before you send them back, because usually when you create a removal order for long-term storage fees, they will require, for depending on the product and depending on your account, sometimes they will require up to 3 months or 4 months before you can send that product back. But usually they'll tell you that if it's a private label, they'll tell you how long do you have to wait before you send the product back. There's another question that people is being asking. Do I need to do any daily reviews for inventory that will be charged long-term storage fees? I will say no, but if you go to the management The age inventory, you can check, you can see that, and it also is going to give you a lot of information. So if your inventory remains in their fulfillment centers for 6 months or longer before before they've been sold or removed, you will be assessed, or you will be charged that long-term fee on the 15th. So I would say, I don't do that every day, but I try to do it very often just to see if something is coming up. In my case, that I do a lot of arbitrage, I do it more often than if you have to do it for private label. But yeah, you don't have to do that daily. You want to do it maybe every week or every other week. So you can kind of keep track of all the inventory that is in the fulfillment center. You can use the inventory age and the inventory health reports that you have on your reports, and you have to log into your account to identify which ASINs in your inventory are subject to long-term storage fee. And the other thing that they do is they account all of the inventory on a first in, first out basis. So they know if you're sending the same product constantly, they will know which batch got in and got out on the proper time. So these reports will tell you exactly which ones you need to remove if you haven't been able to sell them before the 6 months mark. So if you go to your reports right here, and then you go to inventory, you have a lot of information about inventory, and one of them is inventory health, and down below you'll see the inventory age. So those are the two reports that I usually check very often to make sure that my inventory is performing good, it's not getting old, it's getting to the 6 months mark, and that's how you can check it all the time. Next question is, what if I have some inventory that has been on Amazon on the fulfillment center for more than 6 months, and then some that is being less than 6 months? So the items that have been in the fulfillment centers for less than 6 months will not have any charge for long-term storage fees. Only those items that have been on Amazon for 6 to 12 months will have that charge. And additionally, only all those items that have been in the fulfillment center after 12 months will have the long-term, the minimum fee. So, and like I said, Amazon knows from the batches that you send which items, when did they get in, and which items you have been there, less than 6 months, and then over 6 or over 12 months to be able to charge the minimum long-term fees, or the regular 6 to 12 months long-term fees. For FBA accounts and all the inventory, they do have this system that checks first in, first out across all the entire fulfillment network. This means that for the purpose of determining how long the inventory has been in the fulfillment center, Amazon will account for the sale or the removal of the inventory by deducting it from the inventory that has been in the fulfillment network the longest. So they know this batch came in 4 months ago, this batch came in 6 months ago. So if you ask for a removal order, they will know which items they will return to you. Regardless of which physical items they actually ship back to you, they will know how many items were in at 4 months ago, and how many items were they check in 6 months ago. So they will do all of that calculation in the system automatically. Another question is, will I be charged both the minimum long-term storage fee and the long-term storage fee for every unit that is being in the fulfillment center for more than a year? The answer is no. We already seen it on the examples. So they will only charge either one, whichever is the higher amount. That's the one that they will charge. But now they will have that minimum. Before they didn't have that minimum, so they will only charge you one of them. And some items were very, very small, but now it's going to be a minimum of 50 cents per unit. So you want to make sure of that new change. Raquel says, would you recommend sending the product directly from China to the Amazon warehouse? Yes, for private label, we do that most of the time, unless you wanna order maybe one item from one manufacturer, the other item from another manufacturer, and then you wanna assemble it in your house or in a prep center here in the U.S. and then send it to Amazon. But if you can send everything to one prep center in China, have them put the package together, and then send everything to Amazon, that's going to be a better way to do it, a recommended way to do it. Carlos says also, what about sending half of your inventory first, and depending on how fast it sells, send the other half? Do you recommend that? Yes, you can do that, but you have to remember that depending on the sales velocity of your item, you don't want to run out of stock. And sometimes you want to send, at least you want to send enough to cover a full month of inventory. So if you only send 1 or 2 weeks at a time, you have to be on top of that. You have to be checking your daily sales. So that way you don't run into a problem where you run out of stock and then something happens and you end up being out of stock for a week or so, because that's going to damage your listing and your rank. So you wanna send enough at least for a whole month of inventory. And again, like I said, Amazon, the way their system works is they know how many units you've been sending, so they will know how many units are gonna incur that fee and how many units are still within less than the 6 months mark. So they will let you know. And when you start running these reports that I showed you before, you will see right there how many units you're running the chance of getting charged because they haven't sold after the 6 months. So here's another question: will I be charged twice the long-term storage fees for a unit that has been over 12 months? In other words, will I be charged the 6 to 12 months long-term fee and then the 12 months? And the answer is no, because a specific item is not subject for both 6 months to 12 months and then the other assessment at the same time. So they group everything, and they have one group. This group is being here between 6 and 12 months, and this other group of items it's been here for more than 12 months. So they will charge you only the one that is specific for that group. That way you don't have to worry about getting charged twice. So okay, so here it is. So all the inventory falls into one of these 3 categories. It's been an Amazon fulfillment center for less than 6 months as of the inventory cleanup day, so there's no charge. It's been on Amazon fulfillment center from 6 to 12 months as the inventory cleanup day, or it's been in the fulfillment center for 12 months or more as of the inventory cleanup date. So they will, their system is very intelligent to know how to separate the items between these 3 different groups. So that's very good to know. I actually like that Amazon gives you this information. That way you know that you're not getting charged a lot, many times for different things, but they have a very sophisticated system that kind of keeps all of that keep all of that in order. So Amal says, would these charges apply only after 6 months, or would they apply from day one? Okay, they will apply after 6 months. This is called a long-term storage fee. All of your product it's charged a storage fee within those first 6 months. You're gonna pay a storage fee, but it's a very small storage fee. And actually, I'm gonna show you another document that we have that's gonna be inside your members area, and you can look it up in your members area, and that's gonna tell you the breakdown for each item depending on the size, depending on the weight, for the storage fees, and those are charged every time you sell an item. And let's say that item is being on the warehouse for 2 months, you'll be charged a fee for that item depending on the size, depending on the weight. But this is an extra charge after you've had the product for 6 months. So this is a long-term storage fee. Ivan says, what are the inventory cleanup dates? Weren't they in February? Yes, they were. They were charging only one time in February 15, another time in August, and that's why we're doing this webinar, so you guys can know that now it's going to be a monthly charge for long-term storage fee for items that qualified for that charge. Another question is the long-term storage fee in lieu of the monthly inventory fee or in addition to it? And this fee is in addition to the monthly fee. So the monthly storage fee will be continue to be charged each month. And that's actually what I was just saying now, that now it's going to be a monthly fee. It's not just going to be one or 2 times a year. Will this fee affect the multi-channel fulfillment for a lot of people that have multi-channel, or they use Amazon as a multi-channel fulfillment center? Yes, it will affect all of your items because it's a storage fee for your items. So all the non-fulfillment fees for multi-channel fulfillments will continue to be the same as FBA. So basically, they're charging you for the storage in this case. Another question is, will this fee charge affect items in the FBA small and light program? Yes, the minimum long-term storage fee for small and light is going to be 25 cents instead of 50 cents, but there is going to be a fee now for small and light, and that's going to be starting from August 15, a few days from now. For regular and oversized items, it's going to be 50 cents. And small and light is going to be 25 cents per unit after 12 months. You have to remember that the items being in the warehouse for more than 12 months. Another question is, will this fee charge affect the inventory placement service? And it's not going to affect the inventory placements. The inventory placement fees are not changing at this time. They keep the same charges. And if you want to find out more information on this, if you go to your Seller Central and then settings and then fulfilled by Amazon, there's an option there that is called inventory placement service, and then you'll find that more information about how much they charge for that, for this service that they do to move items inside the Amazon warehouse. So that's all I have as far as the new updates and all the questions, most questions that people are asking. So now let's go back and start answering your questions. And I hope a lot of your questions were answered with this webinar. But if not, let's just jump in and start working our way down with the Q&As that you guys have. So let's see. Amal says, oh yeah, I already answered that. Ivan says, do they charge the fee only on the 15th of the month? This means if the product arrives on the 16th, you get 1 month free. No, Amal. This charge is for items that have been in Amazon for 6 months, or they have been on the warehouse or the fulfillment center from 6 months to 12 months. That's going to be one charge. And then 12 months and higher. So the items that you send today, you don't have to worry about, because Amazon is gonna let you have it for 6 months before they charge you the long-term fees. Do you guys understand that all of this is for the long-term fees? It's only after you have an item for 6 months or more in the warehouse and you haven't been able to sell that item. Is that clear for everybody? I just want to make sure. So there's 2 ways to see it. If I want to send this item today, I send it, and for 6 months I can sell it without having any long-term fees. But if I sell it within a month, they're gonna charge me 1 month of storage, and then after 6 months they will charge you long-term fees. Regular storage, yes. If the item gets in today and they sell it they sell it the next month, it's they're gonna charge you for that month of a storage fee. Carlos says, I'm about to place my order and I want to know if I have to send somebody to check my order before the payment remaining of 70%. Yes, that's called an inspection. And there's 2 ways that you can do inspection. You can do a partial inspection, let's say 25% of your inventory. Somebody goes and they inspect 25% of the inventory, they write up a report and they send it to you. Or you can request a service to do an inspection on all of your inventory. So they will open every box, depending on the product, they will make sure it's not broken, doesn't have any defects, it's working properly, and then they will give you a report and they will tell you, out of 300 units, we found these many units damaged or these many units with these problems. And then you can talk to the manufacturer and tell them, okay, you need to replace these or you need to fix this before you send the payment, and they send it to Amazon. So you have to decide if you want to do a partial inspection or a full inspection. And for me, the first time we did a full inspection on all of the items, and then after that, I've been doing partial inspections depending on the product, 25%, 50%. But it's always good to do at least a 25% partial inspection, so somebody that is not the manufacturer goes and checks the product and makes sure that everything's good, so you don't have any surprises when the product gets to Amazon and it's all broken. Is one more expensive than the other? Says Carlos. Yeah, well, yes. Depending on if you want a partial, they will charge you a fee. But the highest we have to pay in our experience is about $250, if I can remember well. So that's the highest we've had to pay for a full inspection. And depending on the service and the company, they might have different price brackets depending on the partial, how much of the inventory you want to have checked. Nicholas says, do you think it's a good idea to sell my product in the States? I live in Canada. If you did your research in the US, if you do the research on the US, you're gonna notice that the demand is a lot higher than any other market. Even the UK, even Canada is gonna be a lot higher. The advantage of selling in your country is that you can, get maybe the product to your house, or you have faster access to the product if you need to do a removal order. But if we have members in the community that they only sell in Canada and they do very well, but you have to know that the demand is going to be a lot bigger in the US than any other country. I think the last time that I heard statistics is the biggest market is the US, the second biggest market is the UK, and I think Canada is like the third biggest market. But between the US and the UK, I think it's a difference of like 3 times. The US is like 3 times bigger than the US. So Canada it has a big you have a good market, but it's not going to be as big as the US. I would recommend, if you want to feel comfortable, just start in your country. But if you want a bigger market and have maybe a bigger sales exposure, is going to be in the US. And I don't know if we have done any surveys just within the Just One Dime group. But I would say, maybe, I don't wanna say a very big or a very low number, but I would say maybe 85% of our members sell in the Amazon US market. And then the other ones sell on different markets, like they start in the UK or Australia or Canada. So the biggest market is going to be the US, definitely. Alexander says about the launch and having an FBA listing and also a FBM listing. It's really two different listing. How they review the FBM listing and show the FBA listing? No, Alexander. You create one listing, and then when you do your shipment, you're gonna tell Amazon, I want to send these 50 units to the FBA store or to the FBA fulfillment center, and that shipment is gonna be created as an FBA shipment, and you're gonna have to send that inventory to Amazon. And then you create another shipment, and you tell Amazon, this is gonna be fulfilled by merchant shipment, and I have 10 units, and Amazon is gonna show that you have, as an FBM item, you have 10 units, and then once you have your items on Amazon, it's gonna show as an FBA you have 50 items. So it's actually the same ASIN. It's just two different shipments that you're gonna see on your Amazon account. But it's the same ASIN, the same listing, and people, when they go to the listing, they're gonna see a fulfillment merchant seller and a fulfillment by Amazon seller, which is gonna be the difference in your listing. Carlos says, Just One Dime provides this service, right? Yes, you can go to justone.com/products, and then go to the sourcing section on the menu, and that's gonna give you all the sourcing different services that we have as Just One Dime, for you to choose which one you want there. Ivan says, have you ever imported toys? And yes, what did you test product for? I'm really confused on what do I need test for. CPSC provides conflicting information. Personally, I haven't done any toys, but when you create your listing on Amazon, they're gonna ask you, or they're gonna tell you actually what are the either certifications or documents or forms that you need in order for you to be approved to sell on Amazon. So depending on the document that they ask you, sometimes you can ask the manufacturer for those documents if they haven't. Sometimes Amazon will ask you that you have to do an independent study or an independent certification. So you have to do that. And once you do that, somebody, a company in China, you have to hire them to go to the manufacturer, do the study, give you the report, and then once you get that, you'll send that to Amazon so you get approved. So it really depends on what kind of documents they're gonna be asking you. You're gonna have to figure out if it's something that the manufacturer can provide for you. Is it something that you have to do an independent service, or what really is Amazon asking? Sometimes if it's just a hazmat, you can get those documents directly from the manufacturer and just fill them out, send them to Amazon, and they'll take care of that. Somiham says, how do I send products from my home to Amazon Fulfillment Center? Usually what you do is you go into your account on Seller Central, you create your items on your inventory section. Once you have the item created or your listing created, there's an option there that is called send replenish or send and replenish inventory, and it's gonna allow you to start creating a shipment, and you're gonna tell Amazon, I have 10, 20, 50, 100 units of this item. I want to send them. You're gonna have to print a label, put it on your product, create the shipment on your account, give all the information that Amazon asks you as far as weight and the size of the boxes and everything, and then they'll give you some labels for you to take that product to either UPS or FedEx, and then you send it to Amazon. They'll receive it, and on your account, it's gonna show that you have inventory on Amazon ready for sale once they receive that inventory. So Alexandra says, still about FDA and FBM, Seth says that as I'm not in the US, I can fulfill my FBM with an FBA inventory manually. Yes. So, but you have to be very careful to make sure that you do it correctly, because sometimes people confuse this, and I've seen it when you're doing you put the FBM at 199, and then the FBA you leave it at 1999, and so some people made the mistake to put the FBA at 199, and then they run out of stock. You get also items orders with an FBM on the FBM listing or on the FBM option, and then you don't have any products to fulfill. So you have to be very careful, because I'm assuming that you're gonna try to have the FBM item at a very low price, maybe $199, and then once you get an order, you're gonna use your inventory on Amazon to fulfill it. So you have to do what is called a multi-channel fulfillment. So you get an order that is an FBM, right? And you live outside the US. So what you do is you take all of the information of the customer, go to your listing, and you're gonna have an option that says create a multi-channel order. So you click on that, and then you're gonna put the information of the customer, the address, all of that, how many units, and you're gonna ask Amazon to send one of your units on FBA to them, and Amazon is gonna charge you only the prep and ship fees, and they'll send it to your customer. So you can do it. There's a way that you can do it, but you have to be careful on which one you bring down on the price if you're planning to do that strategy, because I've seen it where people put it very low, and they sell a lot, but they were selling the FBA as well at a low price, and then by the time they get the order, all the FBM orders, there's no more, or they don't have any inventory in stock to actually send the product, and you'll get in a issue with Amazon there if you have to cancel items because you couldn't fulfill them. I hope that makes sense, Alexander. So yeah, that's exactly what I said. Somi Ham says, Alan, do you have any experience with establishing an LLC in New York? Would you recommend an LLC or a corporation? I created my LLC in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's, well, it's not the only one, because I have created other LLCs, but in the state of Wyoming. So I only have LLCs in Atlanta, in Georgia, and Wyoming. For Amazon purposes, I will say you can do an LLC only, but for tax purposes, they're gonna ask you, is it gonna be a Corporation S or a Corporation C? And you might wanna have somebody that, like a lawyer or somebody, a CPA, explain to you why a Corporation C or Corporation S is better, but that's gonna be only for tax purposes and for tax protection. But an LLC, it's gonna be good enough, and then inside that LLC, you're gonna have to decide if it's an S corp type or a C corp type, and that's all the knowledge I have on LLCs on the ones that I've done so far. But I would say a good CPA or a lawyer is gonna give you that information, and they'll actually do it for you if you want them to handle that for you. Arun says, how do I get Amazon fulfillment center address for my potential suppliers to give me a shipment cost? I want all the items sent by the supplier to the fulfillment center. This is my first product. Yes, what you do is you're gonna go on your Amazon Seller Central, and you're gonna create. You can create a shipment, and you have to tell Amazon, I have this many units, this many boxes, this is the weight of each box. So you have to get that information from the manufacturer, and then once you give that information to Amazon, they'll tell you, okay, you have to send this product to this warehouse, and they'll give you the address and everything. So you take that information and give it to the supplier, so they can give you the quote. And when you create the shipment, you have 24 hours to cancel it. So if you can just cancel it, but usually you don't have to get all the way to finish the shipment before they give you the address of the warehouse where you're supposed to send the shipment. So sometimes you just have to create it, go like halfway into the process to the point where you get the address of the how do you call it, of the fulfillment center, and just to get an estimate. Now, once you're ready to do the actual shipment, then you have to create the shipment, finish it, and then you have 24 hours to cancel it. If not, you have to use that those labels and everything to send the shipment. But that will be once you're ready to do the shipment. You have to kind of finish the whole process. Alexander says, I will not really send any inventory at my house for FBA. I live in Canada. So how do I create the FBA inventory on Amazon so they have an inventory at home? Well, again, if you're going to be doing this strategy, you don't really have to have the inventory in your house. You're just going to send everything to Amazon FBA, and then you're going to create an FBM shipment. So you're gonna see two listings on your inventory on your account. You're gonna see the FBA and the FBM, but they're both under the same listing or the same ASIN. And instead of having the product on Amazon in your house, every time you get an order for FBM, you use the FBA inventory and send it to the customer. Somi Ham says, my product needs a model to wear it. Where and how can I have my product done? Do you know any services can I use? For clothing, I haven't done any clothing. I have done mostly my products are, they don't need a model. But there's one website that you can use. That's actually two websites that you can use. One is called Upwork.com, and the other one is freelance.com. If you go into those websites and you look for models or for photographers that have models, you should be able to find people that you can send your product to them, and they will take the pictures. And some people have models and everything. I know that last time we were looking at people that have kid models to play with the game, and that was one of the places where we were looking at Upwork or freelance.com. And that's going to be where I will recommend that you look for these kind of people. Yeah, Annette says photographers usually have models. Yeah, so yeah, you just put there, you just look for photographers, and you tell them that you need a model, and you explain or give them details about the kind of products, and they'll let you know if they do if they will do it for you because they have models or not. All right, guys. Any other questions that you guys might have? It's we still have 5 more minutes. If not, I will close early, and I hope all of this information was helpful, and I hope the long-term storage fee was clear. But I think it's very important information because you want to make sure that you understand all of these fees. Sometimes people, they don't even know, and then one day they get a big bill because they didn't prepare for those fees. And before it was every 6 months they will charge you 11.25 per cubic feet. So I know some people that got charged hundreds of dollars in one day because they didn't know all of this information. So we want to make sure that you know all of this information. And one more thing I just remember that I wanted to show you is inside the members area, you have this document that is called breakdown of Amazon seller fees. This is only for members, and this one is going to give you a breakdown of the referral fee, the type of referral fee, what it is for, if it's an FBM item, if it's an FBA item, all the main information, and then references so you can go and read more information about on Amazon. So this is going to break it down to the fulfillment fee, what it is for, the standard size, the oversize. These are all the fees, and of course now with the new changes you have to make sure about the long-term fees. But this is all the storage fees that you have for oversize, the storage fee, other fees that you might the Amazon might charge you depending on the item. So this is a very good document to have, and you guys can find this document inside your members area, so you can have all of this information, and then it has the links to the Amazon documentation, so you can take a look at it and learn more about all of this. I like this because it kind of gives you all the breakdown depending on the size, if it's a small between this and that, and it gives you all of that information. So it's a great resource to have, and I wanted to show you this before we finish the webinar, so you can have that information. And now with the presentation, you'll know that all of these changes that Amazon has been doing this year, and get prepared for when your items start getting to the 6-month mark, if you can sell them before, or if you have to ask and create a fulfillment removal order before it hits the 6 months mark. Now you have to do it every month, kind of check every month if you have any items, create a removal order, because now it's going to be an every month charge. So I hope that was useful for you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. I hope to see you guys next week on Monday webinar, and have a great day, guys. Take care.